check it out. Today I'm going to be talking about the major 6 diminished scale. I've been checking out a bunch of Barry Harris stuff. His master classes online are super cool, and you should check them out. There's a ton of them. But one scale that he talks about a lot is the major 6 diminished scale. So you're thinking major 6 diminished, what is that? Okay, gets its name because it's made of 2 chords. And I think that's the best way to start to understand the scale is by doing it with chords first and then playing the scale itself. So it's a major 6 chord and a diminished chord put together. So a major 6 chord is spelled root, 3rd, 5th, 6th. So if we're talking about C major 6, that would be C, E, G, A. And I'm going to start with these drop 2 voicings because they lay out pretty nicely on the guitar. The first one's a little stretchy, but we can get around that later on. So got our major 6 here. And let's learn the inversions of the major 6 chord and the inversions of the diminished chord separately first. So the diminished chord, we're going to pair this C major 6 up with a D diminished, which could also be B diminished, which could also be F diminished. It could also be A flat diminished. So the inversions of the diminished 7th chord are all the same shape. They're all going to be the same shape depending on which string set you're on. So we'll start with this D diminished chord. And I'll put a diagram up here for you. I'll also have a PDF of this if you want to check that out. It'll be in the description. So we've got our diminished chord, and then we're going to move it up in minor thirds. A minor third is 3 frets. So 1, 2, 3. So from the 5th fret up to the 8th fret. That's a minor third. And then we can move up another minor third to the 11th fret, and then up another minor third to the 14th fret. There we go. So now we could also play that down here on the 2nd fret, the B diminished, or diminished chord with a B in the bass. So let's go through those again. We'll start on the B this time. Easy, right? You just move it up, and you don't have to change your fingers at all. Easy enough. Okay, great. Now let's do the major 6 chord. Now, some of these shapes will probably look familiar to you if you know your minor 7 chords. The major 6 and the minor 7 are actually the same exact notes. So C major 6 we said was C, E, G, A. What if we start from A? Then we would have A, C, E, G, A minor 7, right? So they're going to be the same chord voicing. So some of them should look familiar. Some of them may not. Maybe all of them will look familiar. I don't know. Okay, so let's start with this C major 6 chord. And then we're going to go to the next major 6 chord. Looks like this. This is spelled E, A, C, G. Then we're going to move up again. This is the next inversion. If you're not familiar with the concept of inversions, you should check out my video on 7th chords. I think I go into all the inversions on that. Probably in the triads video too. And then here's the next one. And then we're back where we started. So let's play those back down. Already sounding pretty nice, right? Okay, sweet. So now we're going to pair that up with our diminished chords, which are the lowest note being B, D, F, and A flat. So we'll start on that B diminished, and then we'll move up to this C 6 chord. Nice. It's kind of a 5-1 relationship. If we think of this as like a G7 with a flat 9 and no G, right? So we got 3rd, 7th, flat 9, 5th. Make sense? And then we're going to a C6. And then we go to the next one, into the next C6, then the next one, and then the next C6. Next one, next C6, and we'll finish it off up here. And I'll have a PDF of this, so there should be diagrams right there. Are there diagrams right there? Good, okay. Let's go back down. Beautiful. It's pretty, right? That's kind of like my favorite cadence. I think of it sort of as the minor 4 chord going to the 1 chord. But I guess it would be a minor 4 with a flat 5 in this case. Now, a quick little exercise that I was doing earlier today is I would go from starting on the diminished. You could start on the major 6 also, but go from one diminished to the next, and then back to the 6 chord that's in between, and then go up to the next 6 chord. Right? You seeing what's happening? So I'm going diminished, diminished, major 6, major 6, diminished, diminished, major 6, major 6, diminished, diminished, major 6, major 6, diminished, diminished, major 6, major 6. Right? Cool, right? Going back down. It's like playing the scale in thirds, but harmonized with the chords. Okay, cool. So that is on string set 5432. 5432 strings. Now we can play those same voicings on the next string set. We could change keys and keep it in the same area. Let's keep it in the same key instead, though. So we're going to start with this one, which, if we take it to the next string set, becomes that. Same notes. E, A, C, G. E, A, C, G. And let's go through our inversions for the major 6 chord. There's one. There's the next. There's the next one. You might recognize these from doing your minor 7 inversions. Yep, there's the next. And then we're back to the one we started on. Sweet. And then the diminished triad, or not triads, 7th chords, diminished 7th chords. We can start with this. Let's start with the D, using the open strings. Open D, A flat, B, and then F. And then our next one starts from F. Then we have A flat, then B, then D. And we can stop there. We could go up to F. Sure. Okay. So now we put those together. So we got nice, right? Okay. Let's go back down. Beautiful. I love that. So each of these is kind of like, you've got your 1 chord, which would be the C major 6, and then you've got its 5 chord right before it. So there's the G7 and then the C6. G7, C6, C6, right? So it's like a 5-1, 5-1, 5-1 relationship, functionally, right? It's dominant and then our tonic, dominant and then our tonic. Make sense? So those are both called drop 2 voicings. We can get into why they're called that maybe in another video. It's not important. It's just if you hear people talking about drop 2 voicings, that's what they're talking about. Okay? So we've got our 2 versions of drop 2 voicings, and let's get into the drop 3 voicings. These ones I like to use here with the root on the 6th string. So this first one, we're basically what we're going to do from this drop 2 voicing is we're taking this top note and putting it down 2 octaves to the low E string, basically. So we got this one. We can pair that up with this one. Make sense? And then our diminished looks like this. So now we've got our C major 6 with G in the bass. Then our diminished. You might recognize this as an A minor 7. It's also a C major 6. Doesn't have to be one or the other. It's both, depending on the function of it, right? If this is like, I'd probably call it an A minor 7. But in this context, it's a C major 6. And then we've got our B diminished. Then our next C major 6. Then our D diminished. Then our next C major 6. And then these voicings are the ones that I used in those Pat Martino videos, if you remember. These are the same chord voicings. So there's our C major 6 there, and then we've got our F diminished, and then we're back to where we started. So let's do that same thing that we did before, where we go diminished, diminished, and then my major 6, major 6, diminished, diminished. Nice, right? So those are our drop 3 voicings. We can also play those. That was string set 6, 4, 3, 2. We can also play them on string set 5, 3, 2, 1. So let's pick one and transfer it over. So how about let's do the one with C in the bass. So this is spelled C A E G, C A E G, and then we can do C A E G on strings 5, 3, 2, 1. This one's a little awkward to play, so I don't use it that often because it's, not the easiest one to get to. And then we have our diminished that looks like this, right? And then our next one is going to be E, C, G, A. And then we have our diminished. And then we got this one. And then our diminished. And then this one. Got that? And then our diminished. And then we're back to where we started. And it's a little easier to play this one up here. And then we'll go back down. You with me? Nice. All right. So start with this scale using the chords. Start out with the chords. I think that's a better way of internalizing it. So now we get to playing the single note scale. So check this out. If we take these notes, the C major 6 chord, we've got C, E, G, and A. And the D diminished, we've got D, F, A flat, and C flat, or B. And we put them in order. We're going to have C, D, E, F, G, A flat, or G sharp, A, and B. And then we're back to C. So it's like a C major scale, but with a sharp 5 or a flat 6. Right? So that's playing the scale as single notes. Right? You hear the similarity? Make sense? So when you're practicing the single note, what I would do is try it with one octave first. So just do one octave. Maybe try it in another place. Right? Find some different places you can play it. And then you can start doing some different patterns with it. We'll get into that in another video, but I think I just wanted to get you started on the C major 6 diminished scale played in chords. So we've got drop 2 voicings and drop 3 voicings. There are also other ways of voicing these chords, but I think these ones are the most useful. Okay, I think that's enough stuff, yeah? So I will see you on the next one and have fun with this. All right.